Right, what is up, guys? Stack up of gold here, and today it does seem like there's a lot of confusion with running a unturned server. And yes, I know there's a huge area over here missing. I can't see it though because, of course, from about that's being selected, isn't it? Did I just make a copy of that? All right. Anyways, there's a huge area from where my mouse is. Okay, if I can just right here, there's a huge area of blackness and I can't see it. So, anyways, there seems to be a lot of confusion in in making a server for Unturned, and I do apologize for that. I guess I kind of was being lazy, so it's my fault on that. And one person even said they didn't even get their servers folder, which actually shocks me. So, anyways, last time I tried setting this up, it failed horribly. And so I've come back to redo this video again. Yeah, I shouldn't have to, but I'm going to. I did do a test with 1080p 60 FPS and I was getting a high encode running there. That's lovely. So anyways, the reason why that happened is I need to get a new PC that's actually built for gaming. So really, I'm going to have to create a whole install this whole thing and just have certain 1080p 60 FPS for certain things. Else 1080p records perfectly fine. And I got a Steam message, which oh well, this thing wasn't flashing before. Anyways, without any interruptions, let's get into on why on how to set up a unturned server revisited because of some errors I made and some icons are missing. Great. So first things first, there's a couple options you have on running a unturned server, and here's my previous video and I have it paused. See, is clicking in affect it? No. So anyways, I will have this right here, the no batch, and then that. So I'm just going to copy this down now, tab for later. And right now, there's two options you can have. Option one would be to install a vanilla server, which kind of works out a lot better. And option two is to do a modded server, which others can join. Last time I tried doing this, there was a couple of errors, and I will show you how to do part forwarding in this video as well. Of course, if you already know how to part forward this, then you should be good, and you won't have to watch the part forwarding part, but that will be at the end of this video. Anyways, without any more interruptions, let's begin. So first off, we will need to go to Steam, and we will need to locate our game library. After you locate your game library, you will need to find Unturned. So you find Unturned, and I've already got a DLC installed or the permanent gold upgrade, all that cool stuff. You'll right-click the Unturned name right here on the left side, and there's a survival map there, and you will click Properties. You'll go to Local Files, Browse Local Files, and it also tells you how much memory you are using on the current drive that it's installed on. Um, so after this will be for the normal server. It's quite simple actually. Um, so I do have a couple servers, but that's not really a big deal. So what we need to do is we need to right click the unturned And what's this? No, I don't want to apply it. So you'll need to right click Unturned, and we will need to click create a shortcut. Now, before we get into any more confusion, you do not, and I repeat, you do not need to copy the Unturned folder. That is only for installing the Rocket mod. And the reason for that is Unturned cannot run with the Rocket mod installed for the server. Uh, Kind of sad. Wish they would find a way to fix that or just provide you with a whole file that automatically updates certain files for it, which would be nice. Now, you don't have to go through on the vanilla one and keep updating it because that will update automatically with Unturned. There might be another way to get it to update automatically, but you would also need to go back and reinstall the Rocket mod. So I suggest doing a vanilla server, but of course, weekly updates. If you're fine with going through every week and updating it by hand, that is okay with me. Okay with you, I should say. So, anyways, now that you got the shortcut, you'll need to right-click it. I'm not going to put it on my desktop, but you'll need to right-click it and go into Properties. So, once again, you right-click Properties, and the window disappeared. Lovely. So you have it right here, and now depending on what, on this, there's going to be this quotation mark. So just put it outside of the quotation mark, and you do not need to put a quotation mark. I do have a couple comments on the other one though, and so make sure you follow this. So you'll need to enter nographics, batch mode, plus secure server, and then we'll enter the server name. And for this, we'll just call it YouTube. Remember the server name because that's what the folder is going to be called. If you have multiple stuff in here, it definitely will help out. And then all you need to do is press apply. Oh. My bad. Remember to where it says target, make sure you don't put it there because well, make sure you put it in target, not anywhere else. Because that was my huge mistake on that one, and everyone hates mistakes. Like I said, once again, we are going to call this YouTube, or whatever you'd like to call it, but I'm calling this YouTube. And then we'll press apply. And then okay. Then you shouldn't get any errors. If you get any errors, it's because you put it on the one below. Make sure it's in target. So you'll need to double click the shortcut. Like it says Unturned shortcut. And command prompt window should pop up. All right, here we go. Like I said, I didn't say this before. I don't know if you have to be running a administrator account in order to do this. I would recommend that you are on a administrator account. Of course, if you are installing this on a PC, you most likely are the administrator for it. So you need to give it a bit in order for it to generate all the files before you can continue. I give it 5 seconds. Then I usually just go ahead and close this. And then we can go to servers, and you got the workshop, and then you got the server, and then you got the commands. So after you wait about 5 seconds, you'll have the commands file. And what you need to do is a couple of things. You'll need to type in port 2015, 27015. And remember that number for later because we will need that for later. So port 27015. Um, I will explain later on. If you do have troubles though with port forwarding when you go to the port forward step, just change the 2 to a 3. And if you still have troubles, change the 2 to a 4 and keep experimenting with it. You can also change the 7 to a 8. Just there's a couple of reasons why I'm saying that, and I'll explain it all when we get to port forwarding. Now comes the part of name. So we'll put name and then call it whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to call it YouTube tutorial. And this is what it's going to show up as. Now there's max players. And of course, you should know what that is. It's the max players. Max it can go is 24. If you put it anything above that, it will not show on the list. So I'm just going to put 24. I don't know why it won't show on the list if it's above 24. I can't look that up or haven't. And there's probably no answers on that out there. So now there's Decay. Now you don't have to put Decay in, but I do put it in because I don't want my structures to decay. And so to do that, all you would do is put Decay and then this. And then I'll show you why, if I can locate it here. Give me a second, and it'll folders plus some C. And then we're looking for Unturned in here, so I'll just search up Unturned. And here we go. Here's Unturned servers, and here's my server here. And for some reason this won't work, but it should work this time. And actually, I'm missing stuff in the servers folder. Must have not transferred all the way. But anyways, it should look like this. You don't have to put decay. If you don't put decay, the decay time on structures is 7 days, I believe, 1 week. You can also check that up on the wiki. And then, so after you got all this lovely information in, you can close out of this and save. Now that you've done that, you can come back and run the server, and then it'll come up with this, and oh, I messed up. So it's actually 0 0. So let's go back and I'll show you it. Now, of course, I won't be editing that out because it's nice to go along with it. So it'll look like this. It'll look port 27015. Of course, it may be different if you have to modify it. Here's your name. So anything after a space is the name of the server. So this is what I'm going to have. I don't believe you can put spaces, but you can try. You got your max players, and that will set the max players of the server, and then you got your decay, which again, you don't have to put that there if you want structures to decay. So now we'll go back to here, go back to Unturned, servers, and then you got the YouTube server thing, and I've went too far. So you got the shortcut here. So open up the shortcut. It'll set the like I said, you'll get this, it will do this, and there's a couple of more things I forgot. I forgot to set the map. Don't forget to put the map in, else it won't quite work out. Shouldn't interfere though. So you got this, and then also need to put map. You can put PEI or whatever you want. There's a bunch of maps out there. Look, just search up a list of the default maps for Unturned, but also you can do Washington, which most servers are running anyways. So you'll open up the Unturned shortcut that we created for the server, and it'll set the map, of course, and then we will, of course, wait. Else really you're done. It's gonna go through a couple of things and get other stuff set up. If you want some more commands for the commands file, that's no problem at all on doing that. And I don't know why this is taking so long. Usually it doesn't. And settings, this is actually generating correctly. A bunch of more folders actually should come up here. So try help admin. Alright, so really that's it. Of course, most stuff will appear as time goes on if you ban a user and such. Stuff will appear in here. If you want to know the file names so you can automatically just enter the Steam ID and have that player banned, you can do that. Now, Slay is kind of mean. Slay, what it does is, of course, you type Slay and then either the Steam ID or the player name. And if you type the player name, of course, it will kill the player, and then the player is permanently IP banned and cannot get in. I believe it's an IP banned at least. So you can do that, and then, of course, there's unslay and all that. Of course, though, I'll let you look into that. So anyways, that's it. You got your server and your workshop. That's all you need. Of course, you'd put in maps here and content and other location. Now comes tricky part. This is, I'll leave a quick fast forward to the port forwarding, but there's an unturned folder, and we need to now copy that folder because this is for the rocket. Now, of course, if you don't want to do the Rocket modded server, you don't have to install Rocket on Unturned itself. This is just for plugins and stuff like feasts. But I'm doing this. You don't have to. So, anyways, else just press the link thing that's on screen right now, and you'll be taken to port forwarding. Of course, if you don't know, if you know how to port forward, then you are good. But I'd still watch the port forwarding so you guys know what you are doing. So you'll need to copy this. So you'll copy it and paste it wherever you want. For me, I'm pasting it on my desktop for ease of access, and updating it isn't that tricky at all, actually. So we'll come in here and I'll show you what I mean. You'll copy everything in here except for the server folder and maybe these up here. But everything else you'll copy in. And if you have like these date things up here, like I do, their crashes, just ignore those. So you'll copy everything except for like date crash folders and the server folder itself, because you'll paste that into the other one and then you'll go through there, which I'll show what I mean. Now, of course, this is going to take about 5 minutes, so I'm just going to cut the video here and we'll continue once this actually gets done, because 5 minutes and 30 seconds is a long time to wait. And wow, this recording is actually putting a lot of pressure on my speeds. So I'm going to pause it and we'll come back. Of course, OBS does not have a pause button, so of course I have to stop recording and then record again, which will have to be put into 2 audios, which might not work, but we'll find out. Anyways, here we go. Guys, so it finished, and now we have the folder on wherever you put it. Of course, don't put it in your Steam folder. So if you did that, you're going to have to move it. Of course, the one in the Steam folder, don't move that. You want to copy it to somewhere else. So now you get this, and what we need to do now is go download Rocket. So you'll type in dev.rocketmod.net. I'll leave the link to that in the description of this video, and you'll press the Get Rocket. Now I'll take you to this page. Of course, I'll have a direct to this page. So what you need to do now is get the latest one for Unturned, so 3.14.7.2. You're going to have to do this every week if you're going through this option, and that's because it won't update this folder, and the Rocket does not update itself. So kind of disappointing, I know, but you can't do anything about it. So it'll get this by downloading this file. You agree to our license terms. I don't have a robot verification. You should get a robot verification. Right, yep, see, yeah, verification. And there we go. It's actually here this time. And looks like I'm going to have to be punching a bunch of stuff. That, or it could be the page is loading slowly. So, of course, they're probably doing that to prevent people from being mysterious with this the rocket mod thing. Make sure you get the run for Unturned. Of course, if you're running this on a Linux operating system, you get the run for Linux. And of course, it's as simple as that. And then, of course, there's also Rocket for Hurt World, which we do not need right now. I haven't actually played Hurt World, so don't know what it is. But yeah, if you can't open up your downloads, then I don't know what to tell you. Just go locate the downloads folder. Sadly, this isn't made for Mac. But of course, yeah, it's not made for Mac, which would be nice if it was. Unless this actually works on Mac. I haven't tried. Of course, Mac people, you can try, but I don't think this will work on Mac. So you'll go, and I don't know if Unturned is even available on Mac. So you'll open up that folder you copied. You'll open up the copied Unturned folder, and you got the README, and what it's telling you is where to put it, basically. And it's actually a file. Really, all it says is type is a file, and this comes up. Which, what the heck is this? I have no idea. Uh, visit the respiratory. Yeah, I have no idea what the heck this is right here, or what it's supposed to be. If you know, then you can post it. Post it, but I don't flipping no. Um, so the license, these two you don't need to really copy, but I do. So you'll need to go into, oh gosh, this actually looks different. It's not maps. Localization? No. Images, extra bundles, and worlds. Something didn't copy over. Oh, great. Oh, no. Yeah, it's here. So you'll go to Unturned Data, and then Managed. And this is where you'll just take all of this and drop it in. Uh, I don't know, because rocket.car.dll, assembly, C sharp, these are all scripts, right? Start update. So there is an update script actually, which is actually right convenient. I don't know how the update works. So I guess you could try and type the command update, but other than that, I have no idea how update works. So actually, you might not even need to go and re-download Rocket every single time there's an update. You might just have to type an update, and it'll update the whole Rocket for you, the whole server. Anyways, so afterwards, you'll have to do the same thing. You'll have to, and I probably should have. Okay, we can delete this. I don't need you. So we'll right-click the Unturned here, and we'll click on Create Shortcut. And of course, the texture file decides to glitch out in there. Unturned shortcut. So it shouldn't for you, but it did for me. So we'll call this Rocket Server for Unturned. Of course, what you need to do now is you actually, first off, let me show you what happens when you try to run Unturned like this, so you guys know why you don't install it in the main directory. Which you guys will be quite sad when you see this. Quite sad, very, very, very sad. Of course, you'll get presented with a nice loading screen, and you probably can't see it. Let me just Alt Tab to my screen recorder. Oh, I got replace these files in destination. Okay, so actually there's a big problem with that, and now I know why. Um, Let me just first quit this because I was a bit stupid. So yeah, if it asks to replace files, make sure you say yes. Um, can I just close the program? Close the program. And Task Manager finally decides to open. Of course, it refuses up. So like I said, cancel. So make sure it copies over correctly, and then you can create this. So, like again, let me try and run it to show you the bad effects of trying to do this on normal. And if you do this on normal unturned in the unturned folder, don't panic. You can always fix it, and all you need to do is you need to just reinstall unturned. It's that simple. If there's important maps, hopefully they'll reinstall when. That's another thing. If you are working on maps, you're kind of lucked out. You're not lucked out. You're kind of doomed on that. Of course, you could copy your maps folder, but anyways, if you do, uh, yeah. Anyways, if you do end up installing this in the main unturned directory, don't panic. Uninstall unturned. If you don't know how to uninstall it, just search up a video on how to uninstall and reinstall unturned. So this will pop up. Note, you can't play unturned with Rocket installed. Rocket is a mod for unturned 3 servers only. Please read the wiki in order to find out how to host Rocket servers. Now, of course, you can find that out, but I'm just going to exit. So we exit and it will close that out for us. So now what we need to do is we'll need to right click here and we'll need to click on properties. And I will have to go and grab the same batch mode file majiggy wiggly. Of course, now for certain stuff you'll need HIDI HQL or whatever. MySQL stuff. Uh, but I'm not going to get into that. If you want to find plugins and stuff, you can find that for yourself. Just search up on YouTube, Unturned server plugins, and you should be good on that. Now make sure you have the target up here, and you'll notice there's no quotation mark. So you'll put that in, and I'm gonna call this TPP main server, but of course you can call it whatever you want, and then you'll need to put a quotation mark at the end of that, and then just press apply and OK. After you do that, you can quickly let this run for a few seconds, and of course I got a high-end code running, so you've seen that freeze up. But you can let this quickly run for a few seconds, give it maybe about 5. You know this pops up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now exit out and then go back to your unturned server. Don't tell me I just did this in my main directory. Okay, thank goodness. Anyways, so go to the TPP main server, or whatever you called it, servers, commands, and then same thing as last time. If you continue watching from the last part into this part, but quite simple actually. So part is 27015. Of course, if 27015 doesn't work, change to 223. If that doesn't work, you could try changing the 7 to an 8. It all depends. And I'll explain more about that when we get to the forwarding part. Name, you can name it. In order for it to pop up correctly in the server list, you gotta give it a name, else it will, I believe, by default pop up as unturned server or unnamed unturned server. or secure unturned server. I don't know what it'll pop up as. Um, the reason why you do secure is that way if the user is VAC banned, that user can't hop on your server, which is quite nice. So anyways, you put name, put a space, and I'm just going to do uh, this stuff for my client. So I'll call it TPP, um, the, and then I'll put the Pickly Pythons because that's what my clan is. If you're looking to join my clan, you are in luck because we are recruiting. If you want to join, just contact me on Steam. My Steam is Stackable Gold, and we'll talk all through that. And then I'll just put this, and we'll put Washington PvP. And then we'll put what else do we want to put? We want to put Decay. Of course, you don't have to put Decay, but we're setting the Decay so it never, so buildings never and structure, player buildings and structures never decay. By default, I believe it's 7 days, but of course that can change. So make sure to check out what the default is on the wiki. Of course, you can also go searching up and finding the default. So you got DK, name, part. Oh, else are we missing? Don't really think we are missing anything besides map. Don't forget this. This is important, else your server won't function correctly. So I'm having the map Washington, or ION. I gotta go back and check that. Don't I? Sorry about this. Sometimes I forget on my spelling. No, it's T-O-N. Okay, so my bad on that. So it's Washington, not T-I-O-N. So Washington. Take that out. And I'll say Washington. Usually that's what most servers run. Of course, some servers can run PEI or custom maps as well. You can find out how to install custom maps on a different on just searching it up, and to install custom maps for a server on YouTube, just search up how to install custom maps on a server. Of course, there's a lot of details that go into that. If you want me to do a video about that, just post in the comments and we can certainly do that. So you got that all set up, and now what we need to do is make sure we close and save it. Make sure you don't have your Unturned server running, of course. And then you can come back to here, and then it will start loading up. Of course, really, this isn't going to do much for me. All we are currently waiting for is the app ID. Once you see this and a bunch of that, it'll automatically save 1,800 seconds. Of course, I do know how to change that, but I'm not going into that. If you want to find out how to change the save settings, just look around and, on the wiki for Unturned. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in it. So the first thing we want to do is make sure it's working correctly. So we'll type in help, and everything seems to be working okay. And it'll say vanilla commands, and then you got rocket commands, which are currently there is none. Of course, you can get Votifier in. So really, I don't use Votifier myself. That involves opening up other parts, I believe, and it's a hassle. But you can just search up how to install Votifier on Rocket, or how to use Votifier. How to install Votifier on Rocket Unturned servers, or how to use Votifier on Unturned servers. One of the two either work. So after you do that, that's pretty much it. Of course, you can get a couple other stuff, but I'm not going into that. So we'll make sure everything's working. We got the Rocket plugins, and this is where you drop plugins. Of course, you can go and find plugins on the Rocket website, and also you can search up on YouTube Rocket plugins. If you want me to review Rocket plugins, I certainly can do that. I have no problem with doing that. Just tell me the plugin, and I can do a review over it. Expect it to just be a bit delayed. If it comes from a bunch of users, they want this one same plugin reviewed, I'll do it, no problem. So basically that is it. Of course, as time goes on, if you ban a user or something, or add admins to the list, stuff will appear here. But I'm not going into that today. So everything works as intended. Now let's get on to perverting. So perverting, it's complicated and then it's not, and then at the same time it's complicated. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this on I believe it's PK 5000 router. But I can't be sure. It's generally the same. So first up, you'll need to do Windows R. Um, if you're on Linux, I can't help you because this tutorial wasn't meant for Linux. And the reason why, and great, and the reason why that wasn't popping up there is because I have my Windows tab disabled. Because if I don't, and stuff happens and it gets all glitchy with my mouse button. And all right, there. We had to wait for that code running to pass. What we need to do now is we need to type in CMD. You will need to be the administrator of the computer to do this. To open up CMD in command prompt in general. So once you type in CMD and press enter, you'll need to type in ipconfig. You get all this bunch, but what we're looking for is wireless LAN adapter or Ethernet connection or whatever. But you're looking for this, the default gateway and the IP version for address. For my IP version for address for my computer, it's 192.168.0.2. Just a heads up, the IP version for address, if you are running on a laptop, can change if you connect to a different network and then connect to yours. And it could also change in general if the router were to shut down and come back on, depending on which devices connect in which router. Normally it doesn't change, but it can. So if you want to find out how to keep an IP version for address static, just search that up. IP version 6 addresses normally do not change. In fact, they don't change at all, and I don't even think most programs use them yet. But it'll be nice to see this in use, because then you can permanently ban users without them getting unbanned. So copy your default gateway and IP version for address down. So my default gateway is 192.168.0.1. So we're waiting for this high encoding running to go away. Alright, and now we're just going to type our default gateway in. In my case, it was 192.168.0.1. So what comes up is you may have to enter a password. If you do have to enter a password, normally it's admin and password. Admin for the username, it's admin. For the password, it's password, or it could be admin, username, password. I don't know. To find out if there is an actual password set on your router, then you need to go to your router or modem, depending what you have, because modem router, there's can be modems and routers both combined. And yes, I actually have a modem that also acts as a router, but we're just going to call it router for to just simplify it. But you can call it a modem if it pops up like modem configuration here. So this will be for the Action Tech PK 5001A. If you it's normally the same, so you'll want to look for like advanced setup or advanced settings, and then you'll need to find forwarding. If you can't find that stuff, you will need to go to like portforward.com. I believe is that right? Is it portforward.com? Let's just check. Uh, port. I believe it's portforward.com. It might be .org, but I forgot. Anyways, just search your word and go through there. But really, you can search it up quite easily. Usually, you'll say advanced setup or advanced settings, and then you'll go and find forwarding. Uh, of course, this is the firewall, which I was not looking for. What? Okay, CenturyLink. Looks like they actually got faster speeds in my area because we're supposed to be getting 20 megabytes per second, and apparently, because they finally they get like a faster speed out here, which is surprising because I believe I was running at 6 last I knew for this, so they went up 3, so that's nice. So go to port forwarding. Um, so once you get to port forwarding, oh boy, if this will ever load, because this takes a long time to load. And yes, this is on my local net. The problem is this is on local network, and your computer has to still go grab it. So depending, it could be different, but usually you'll have a starting and ending port. Now that's where that 27015, which I told you to save for later, comes in. Of course, I do have 27015 in my preferred area. Let me find it. Is 27015. So here's 27015, and here's 27015. 27015 is before when I was trying to host a different server, uh, because there was some interference. But you could have select device, and you could find your uh, IP for your computer here, but normally it'll say enter IP address, and that's where the IP version for address comes in. For me, it was 192.168.0.2. The reason why I'm not removing the ports, the 270 down here is because I want to show you what will generally happen when you go to do this if there's another port active. Um, so starting port will be 27015, and ending port will be 27018. I'll give you guys some time to put that in, and then we'll continue on from there. All right, I'm assuming now that you have gotten that done. What you need to do now is we'll select the protocol, and we want TCP and UDP to make it simple. Of course, if you don't have the TCP and UDP option, but you have TCP and a UDP option, then you'll prefer the TCP side first and then the UDP. So you'll enter IP address, starting ports and ending ports, and remote. Just ignore this if it asks for it, and then press apply. Of course, though, it says duplicate filter entry. Please check, or for my, in anyways. And if that pops up, just change this 7 to an 8, and this 7 to an 8, or this 2 to a 3, and this 2 to a 3 as well. And then you'll need to go back in and where it says part in the command file, you'll need to set that to 3 or whatever you had it set to, but do not go below 27015, else it will not work. It takes Unturned takes up the next 3 parts after the starting part, so 27016, 27017, and 27018. In total, that's for parts. So you change this based off of parts that are taken up, and of course you'll need to insert the starting parts and in the command file. Don't put the ending part, just the starting. It'll automatically know to go 3 forward and all that. So then you would press apply or check it to make it active or whatever it says. Of course, I'll try and press apply again, and it will give me some hair. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you want to know like ZaupUconomy and all this, I'll leave these below. And of course, this. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, uh, let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I cannot guarantee that I can answer them all, but I can try to do that as best as I can. And it looks like someone messed up on a rocket. I don't know. Um, but anyways, thank you for watching. If this helped you, put a thumb up, do a thumbs up. If this didn't help you, put a thumbs down and tell me what I did wrong and what I could do to help you in order to get this done. I would recommend not to do this on a laptop. Uh, if your laptop is for gaming though, go for it. Uh, I recommend you have at least 8 gigs of RAM. If you have anything less than 2 gigs of RAM, do not do this. So if you already went through this whole video and did this, I do feel sorry for you, and I do apologize for not doing that at the beginning. One final word on this: if you do mess up your internet or something, I cannot be held responsible for that. So I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but remember, I cannot be held responsible for that. So if you mess up somewhere and you don't have internet, I cannot be held responsible. There is one quick fix though. Most modems or routers, whatever you'd like to call them, will have a reset button on the back. Usually it's blocked off, so you can't just like so it can't be randomly knocked. What you need to do is take a pen, and then you need to stick it in there and hold it for about 10 seconds or 15 depending, and then you'll see the modem or router lights, whatever you would like to call yours. Mine's a modem, so I'm going to call mine a modem. But you would see your router lights start doing different things, hopefully, depending on the router. And that will reset your router, so you'll be good to go again. But like I said, I cannot be held responsible if you do mess up and you have to do that. So I do apologize if something does go wrong, but I can't be held responsible for it. Uh, but normally nothing goes wrong if you follow the video the right way. This is not for Hamachi. If you're looking to do Hamachi, go look at someone else's videos. The server, if you put max players as 24, it will show up. If it goes above 24, it won't show up in the server list, so you won't have to give out your IP to anyone. Of course, if you do a LAN server, then you'll have to give people in your network the IP for the LAN server, which would be your IP version 4 address. If they're in your internet network, all you have to do is give them your computer's IP version 4 address in order for the people in your house to connect. So, ooh, I'm getting the hiccups, but thank you for watching, and I do apologize for how confusing the previous video was. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.